What if I told you that the difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't luck, talent, or even hard work? It's your rituals. Yes, the small, seemingly insignificant habits you repeat every single day are either propelling you towards success or quietly holding you back. Think about it. How many times have you started your day with good intentions, only to feel like you're spinning your wheels by the end of it? We've all been there, and that's exactly why this video is so important. Today, we're diving into the 7 daily rituals of highly successful people, the routines that have transformed ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. And here's the twist. These aren't just surface-level productivity hacks. We're going deeper. Some of these rituals might challenge the way you think about success entirely. So, if you're ready to stop settling for just getting by and start building a life that feels purposeful, powerful, and entirely your own, stick around. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll have a toolkit of actionable rituals to start creating success on your terms, starting today. Let's get into it. Number 1, the sacred no ritual. You know what's crazy? Most of us are drowning, not in work or responsibilities, but in yeses. Yes to that meeting you didn't really need to attend. Yes to helping someone with their last-minute task when your own deadlines are looming. Yes to that social gathering you didn't want to go to, but felt guilty declining. Sound familiar? If you're nodding, trust me, you're not alone. We've all been there, trapped in a cycle of polite agreements, stretching ourselves thin while quietly wishing we'd just said no. Now, here's the thing. Saying no isn't selfish, it's sacred. And that's where the sacred no ritual comes in. It's a simple but life-altering shift in how you protect your time and energy. And before you roll your eyes and think, oh, another self-help mantra, hear me out. This isn't about being rude or shutting people out. It's about reclaiming control over your life, one decision at a time. Imagine this. Every time you say yes to something you don't truly want to do, you're saying no to something else, usually something that matters to you, your goals, your peace, your time. Think about it. That yes to a pointless meeting could have been a no that gave you an extra hour to focus on your side project. That yes to picking up someone else's slack at work could have been a no that allowed you to finally leave on time and have dinner with your family. So the next time you're faced with a request, pause. Ask yourself, is this worth saying no to myself for? If the answer is no, there's your answer. Let me tell you about a time this ritual saved me. A colleague once asked if I could help finish a report that wasn't even my responsibility. Now, old me. I'd have said yes, stayed late, and resented every second of it. But that day, I took a deep breath and said, I'm really sorry, but I have my own deadlines to meet. Sure, there was an awkward pause, but you know what happened? They found someone else to do it, and I went home on time, guilt-free, to work on my personal project. That simple no didn't just protect my schedule, it protected my sanity. The sacred no ritual isn't about being cold or unkind. It's about honoring yourself. Because when you start saying no to what drains you, you're making room for what energizes you. You're giving yourself the gift of time, focus, and freedom. And yes, I get it. Saying no is hard, especially if you're someone who hates disappointing others. But think of it this way. Every no you give outwards is a yes you give inwards. A yes to your goals, your growth, and your well-being. So here's my challenge to you. This week, say no to one thing that doesn't align with your priorities. Just one. And notice how it feels. Notice the space it creates, the peace it brings. This isn't about building walls, it's about setting boundaries. Because at the end of the day, your time and energy are finite, and they deserve to be treated as sacred. Remember, saying no doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong, deliberate, and, most importantly, in charge of your life. So go ahead, embrace the power of no. You're not just protecting your time, you're reclaiming your peace, your focus, and your dignity. Number 2, reverse gratitude. Reflection. Imagine waking up tomorrow and everything you love, your family, your health, your home, your passions, vanishes. Sounds like a nightmare, right? But what if I told you this horrifying thought experiment could be the key to unlocking a deeper, more powerful sense of gratitude than you've ever experienced? It's called reverse gratitude reflection, and yes, it's a little unconventional. But trust me, it works. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would I dwell on losing the things I love? Isn't gratitude about focusing on the good stuff? And you're right, mostly. Traditional gratitude asks us to count our blessings, to recognize what's going right. But let's be honest, how often does that feel like just another box to check off? Reverse gratitude. Reflection flips the script. Instead of listing what you're grateful for, you imagine losing it. It's not about being morbid. It's about jolting yourself into realizing how much you truly value the things you already have. We've all been there, rushing through life, barely noticing the little things that make it all worthwhile. Your morning coffee, the laughter of a loved one, the way your favorite song makes you feel. It's easy to take these for granted until, suddenly, they're gone. Reverse gratitude. Reflection forces you to pause and say, what if this wasn't here tomorrow? The thought alone can shift your perspective in an instant. Let me tell you about the first time I tried this. It was a regular evening, and I was caught up in my to-do list, completely ignoring my dog, who was nudging me for attention. I stopped, looked at him and thought, what if this was the last time I saw him wag his tail? That single question hit me like a ton of bricks. I closed my laptop, sat down on the floor, and gave him my undivided attention. In that moment, nothing else mattered. Not my deadlines, not my stress, just him. And the gratitude I felt. It wasn't forced or fleeting, it was raw, deep, and real. The beauty of this practice is that it connects you to what truly matters. It's not about living in fear of loss. It's about appreciating what you have while you have it. Yes, it's a little uncomfortable at first, thinking about life without your favorite people, moments, or things, but that discomfort is what makes it so powerful. It cuts through the noise and reminds you that even the ordinary is extraordinary. This isn't about guilt or regret. It's about living fully present. Because when you truly appreciate something, you show up for it differently. You cherish it, protect it, and savor it in a way you never thought possible. It's about reclaiming the magic in the mundane, the joy in the everyday. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, before you fall asleep, pick one thing, just one, that you love. Imagine, just for a moment, what life would be like without it. Let that thought sink in, not to scare you, but to awaken you. Then, tomorrow, show up for that thing like it's the greatest gift you've ever received. Because it is. This practice isn't about losing anything. It's about gaining everything. Your time, your attention, your gratitude, all refocused on what truly matters. So go ahead, try reverse gratitude reflection. It's not just a ritual. It's a reminder that your life is already full of treasures, if only you choose to see them. Number 3, the micro-quitting technique. What if I told you that quitting could actually be the key to winning? Sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? We're so conditioned to think that quitting is for the weak, for the unmotivated, for the ones who don't have what it takes. But let me flip that on its head. What if quitting, done the right way, could be your most powerful tool for success? That's the idea behind the micro-quitting technique, and trust me, it's a game changer. Now, let's be real. We all have those little habits that weigh us down. You know the ones: scrolling through social media first thing in the morning, hitting snooze 5 times, or saying yes to commitments you don't care about. They're tiny, almost invisible, but they quietly chip away at our time, energy, and focus. And the worst part? We often don't even notice the damage they're doing. That's where the micro-quitting technique comes in. It's not about overhauling your entire life or making some dramatic announcement like, "I'm never eating sugar again." Come on, we've all failed that one by day 3. No, this is different. It's about identifying one small habit that's not serving you and quitting just that. Not forever, just for a week. Sounds doable, right? Let me tell you how this worked for me. A few months ago, I realized I had this ridiculous habit of checking my email every 5 minutes. Even when I was in the middle of something important, I'd flip over to my inbox, thinking, what if there's something urgent? Spoiler alert, there never was. So I decided to quit. Not email altogether, just the constant checking. I set specific times to check it, and the rest of the day, no peeking. At first it felt impossible. My fingers would literally hover over the keyboard, itching to hit refresh. But by the end of the week, I'd broken the habit. And you know what? My productivity skyrocketed. The beauty of this technique is its simplicity. You're not overwhelming yourself with a massive lifestyle change. You're tackling one tiny thing at a time, and the results, they compound. Quit hitting snooze and suddenly you're starting your day on time. Quit mindless scrolling and suddenly you've got an extra hour to work on that side hustle. Each micro quit creates space for something better, something more aligned with the life you actually want. This isn't about being perfect or never slipping up. It's about progress. Because every small intentional quit is a step toward a clearer, lighter, and more focused you. And the best part, it's completely customizable. Your micro quits could be anything: cutting back on junk food, saying no to one extra meeting, or even just quitting the habit of checking your phone during meals. So here's your challenge. Pick one habit. Just one. Something small, something manageable. Quit it for a week and see how it feels. I promise, the sense of accomplishment and clarity you'll gain will far outweigh whatever tiny comfort that habit was giving you. Quitting doesn't mean failure, it means freedom. Freedom to focus on what matters. Freedom to let go of what doesn't. So, go ahead, start micro-quitting. It's not about giving up, it's about leveling up. Number 4. Productive procrastination. Let's start with a confession. Procrastination isn't always the enemy. Shocking, right? But hear me out. What if I told you that sometimes putting off the big stuff can actually lead to getting more done? Sounds like a productivity hack from an alternate universe, but it's true, and that's the beauty of productive procrastination. Now, I know what you're thinking. Procrastination is the opposite of being productive. And sure, if we're talking about scrolling through memes for hours, you're probably right. But what if, instead of fighting your urge to procrastinate, you leaned into it strategically? Because here's the thing, procrastination doesn't mean you're lazy. It often means you're overwhelmed, bored, or just not feeling the task at hand. So, why not channel that restless energy into something meaningful? We've all been there. You sit down to tackle that big, daunting project, writing a report, studying for an exam, or decluttering your closet, and suddenly everything else seems wildly important. You know, I really should organize my bookshelf, or now's the perfect time to clean the kitchen. Sound familiar? That's your brain looking for a win. It's craving accomplishment, just not the kind tied to your main task. Productive procrastination lets you scratch that itch without completely derailing your day. Here's how it works. Instead of fighting procrastination, Make a list of smaller, less intimidating tasks you've been putting off, things like answering emails, folding laundry, or brainstorming ideas for a future project. When you find yourself avoiding the big task, pick something from that list. You're still procrastinating, sure, but you're doing it in a way that keeps the momentum going. It's like tricking your brain into thinking, "Look at me, I'm crushing it." Let me share a personal example. Last week I had a looming deadline for a presentation. Every time I opened the file, my mind wandered. So instead of forcing it, I shifted gears. I tidied up my workspace, responded to messages I'd been ignoring, and even planned out my meals for the week. By the time I returned to the presentation, the mental clutter was gone, and I felt ready to dive in. And the best part? I didn't spend hours spiraling in guilt for not working. This isn't about avoiding responsibility. It's about reframing how you approach it. Productive procrastination helps you sidestep the paralysis of doing nothing while still giving yourself the grace to not tackle the big stuff immediately. It's a way to acknowledge that motivation is fickle, but action, any action, can spark momentum. Think of it as a cycle. Small wins fuel bigger ones. Organizing your desk might not finish your report, but it sets the stage. Replying to that email won't ace your exam, but it clears mental space. It's about creating a domino effect, where even the tiniest accomplishment pushes you closer to tackling the big challenge. So, the next time procrastination strikes, don't beat yourself up. Embrace it, wisely. Pick something small, knock it out, and let that momentum carry you forward. You'll be surprised how much lighter and more capable you feel. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. And in the end, isn't that what productivity is all about? Number 5. The unplugged hour. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you were truly alone with your thoughts? No phone buzzing, no endless notifications, no background noise pulling your attention in 100 directions. Hard to remember, isn't it? That's why I want to introduce you to something transformative, the unplugged hour. At first it might sound intimidating, maybe even a little impossible in our hyper-connected world, but trust me, this one simple practice can change your relationship with time, focus, and even yourself. Now, I know what you're thinking. An hour without my phone, without emails, social media, or even music. How am I supposed to survive that? And believe me, I get it. We've all become so tethered to our devices that the idea of stepping away feels unnatural, even unsettling. But here's the thing, our constant connectivity is stealing something precious from us, our ability to just be, to exist without the constant pull of the digital world. And honestly, isn't that worth reclaiming? We've all been there, scrolling endlessly when we're supposed to be relaxing, answering emails during dinner, or lying in bed with the glare of our phones keeping us awake. It's like we're never truly off. And the worst part, we don't even realize the toll it's taking, that mental fog, that sense of always being on edge. It's not just life, it's overstimulation. The unplugged hour is your antidote to that chaos. Here's the deal. For just 1 hour a day, you unplug. Completely. No screens, no apps, no digital distractions. It's not about being productive, it's about being present. Read a book, take a walk, cook a meal, journal, meditate, or just sit quietly and let your mind wander. At first it might feel uncomfortable, like you're missing out on something, but what you're really missing out on is yourself. And this hour is about rediscovering that. Let me tell you about the first time I tried this. It was a typical evening. I was multitasking like a pro, switching between emails and a half-watched show while scrolling Instagram. And I felt nothing. Completely drained but unable to stop. So I made a deal with myself. 1 hour, no devices. I stepped outside, left my phone behind, and just walked. At first it was awkward. I kept reaching for a phantom vibration in my pocket, but then something amazing happened. I noticed the crisp air, the sound of leaves crunching under my feet, and even the distant hum of traffic. It was like the world had been waiting for me to notice it again. And when I got home, I felt lighter, like my brain had finally caught a breath. This isn't just about avoiding burnout. It's about creating a space where you can think clearly, recharge emotionally, and reconnect with what really matters. It's about realizing that the world won't collapse if you step away for an hour, and neither will you. In fact, you'll come back stronger, more focused, and more present for the things and people you care about. So here's my challenge to you. Try it. Just 1 hour. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, but make it happen. Turn off your phone, shut your laptop, and step into the stillness. It might feel strange at first, but soon it'll feel like freedom, because that's what it is. Freedom from the noise, the pressure, and the endless demands of the digital world. This is your time to breathe, to think, to simply be. And who knows, that 1 hour might just become the best part of your day, because in that space of quiet, you'll find something truly priceless: your peace, your clarity, and yourself. Number 6, the 5-minute enemy rule. Have you ever held onto a grudge longer than you'd like to admit? Maybe it's something small, a snarky comment someone made, a time you felt left out, or that friend who cancelled plans last minute. We all do it. Those moments replay in our heads, eating away at us, long after the other person has moved on. But what if I told you there's a way to stop giving that negativity so much real estate in your mind? It's called the 5-minute enemy rule, and yes, it's as liberating as it sounds. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, "Oh great, another let it go speech," hear me out. This isn't about pretending things don't bother you or forcing forgiveness. It's about protecting your peace. Here's the deal. When someone does something that annoys or upsets you, you give yourself 5 minutes, 5 full minutes to feel every ounce of frustration, vent if you need to, or even imagine all the witty comebacks you'll never actually say. But once those 5 minutes are up, that's it. You let it go. Sounds simple, right? But I know what you're thinking. How can I possibly let go that quickly? Some things just stick. And you're not wrong, letting go isn't always easy. But think about it this way. Holding on to anger or annoyance doesn't punish the other person. It only hurts you. You're the one reliving the moment, carrying the weight, and letting it ruin your day. The 5-minute enemy rule isn't about excusing bad behavior. It's about refusing to let someone else's actions control your emotions longer than they deserve to. Let me tell you about the first time I tried this. It was a classic scenario. A coworker threw me under the bus during a meeting. My instinct was to stew over it all day, replaying the moment in my head and imagining all the things I should have said. But then I set a timer on my phone. 5 minutes. I let myself feel the frustration, scribbled out my unfiltered thoughts in a notebook, and even muttered a few choice words under my breath. But when that timer went off, I closed the notebook, took a deep breath, and told myself, "All right, that's enough." And you know what? It worked. I didn't forget what happened, but I stopped obsessing over it. I reclaimed my focus and moved on with my day. This rule isn't just about minor annoyances. It's a mindset shift. It reminds you that you're in control of your reactions. By limiting how long you dwell on negativity, you're choosing to invest your energy in things that actually matter: your goals, your relationships, your happiness. It's not always easy, and sometimes it takes practice. But every time you successfully let go after those 5 minutes, you're reminding yourself of your own resilience. So here's my challenge to you. The next time someone or something gets under your skin, set a timer. Give yourself those 5 minutes to feel it all, no judgment. And when the timer stops, so do you. Because this isn't about them. It's about you, your time, your peace, your energy. They're too valuable to waste on grudges that don't serve you. So go ahead, try it. Take back control 5 minutes at a time. Number 7, the burn the bridge commitments. You know that feeling when you're standing on the edge of something big, but you're still hesitating, unsure whether to take the leap. It's that constant tug of doubt, that safety net you keep close just in case things don't go as planned. We've all been there, right? The problem is, that safety net is often the very thing that keeps us stuck. So what if I told you there's a way to finally break free from that cycle of indecision? Yes, trust me on this. It's all about making what I like to call burn the bridge commitments. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds extreme. But hear me out. When you make a burn the bridge commitment, you're not leaving yourself an out. You're putting yourself in a position where you have no choice but to move forward, no backup plan, no fallback. Why? Because when you have an easy way to back out, your mind will always take it. It's like playing a game with your future self, one that you can't lose because you've set the stakes high enough that you're forced to show up and take action. Let me give you a real-life example. A couple of years ago, I was stuck in a job I didn't love. It was comfortable, but I knew I wasn't living up to my potential. So, I made a decision. I would quit without having a backup job lined up. Yep, I burned that bridge. It felt terrifying, but it lit a fire under me like nothing else. I had no choice but to push myself to find a new path, and fast. The pressure was real, but it led me to opportunities I never would have considered if I'd kept that safety net in place. I had no other option but to succeed, and I did. This isn't about being reckless. It's about creating the kind of pressure that forces you to level up. It's about saying, I'm all in, no turning back, and putting yourself in a position where there's no retreat, only forward motion. Imagine what you could achieve if you had no safety net, just total commitment to your goals. What if you trusted yourself enough to burn that bridge? This is where true growth happens. It's about taking that bold step toward your future, refusing to let fear or doubt control your choices. It's about reclaiming your power and not letting anything, not even the fear of failure, hold you back. Remember, your growth lies beyond the comfort zone, beyond that bridge. You don't need to have all the answers right now, but you do need to decide to go for it. No turning back. So my challenge to you is this. What bridges are you still holding on to? What commitments can you make that'll push you to go all in? When you burn those bridges, you're not destroying your future, you're creating the freedom to soar. No more hesitation, no more second guessing. Just you taking that leap. And let me tell you, it's worth every bit of courage it takes. Go ahead, burn that bridge. It's the only way forward. Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope this video gave you some valuable insights into the daily rituals that can transform your life and set you on the path to success. If you found this helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really supports the channel and helps us reach more people looking to grow. And hey, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more empowering content like this. Do you know someone who could use a little inspiration or a fresh perspective on building their own success story? Share this video with them. It might be just what they need to get started. Also, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these rituals resonated with you the most? Or maybe you have a unique daily practice of your own that keeps you focused and motivated. Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. Your thoughts and experiences could inspire someone else in this amazing community. Remember, success isn't about massive leaps. It's about those small intentional steps you take every day. Keep building those habits, keep showing up for yourself, and before you know it, you'll be living the life you've always envisioned. Until next time, stay focused, stay inspired, and keep chasing greatness. See you in the next video.